Imagine finally coming home and realising home is the most complicated place you've ever been. After everything Jay Whitney experienced in South Africa, he returned to England and the battle did not stop. It changed shape. New schools, new pressure, a toxic family member pulling at the threads of who he was trying to become. And underneath it all, a desperate search for something every child deserves. His mother's love. Part 2 of this conversation goes somewhere deeply human. The hunger for approval, the resilience it takes to keep going when the people closest to you are the part of the wound. This one will definitely stay with you. Here's part 2 of Jay's journey. If you've missed part 1, please go back. In the meantime, please press the follow. It really helps the show meet and reach new people. Keep leading your own way. Here's Jay for part 2. Before we dive in, I want to give a big, massive shout out to our now new proud sponsor, Eshu Skincare, a brand that truly aligns with leading our own way. This Australian-born company is dedicated to keeping skincare simple, effective, and straightforward. They've made waves in the US, even landed in Macy's and over 300 stores, and now they're back with a renewed focus on healthy skin and real results. If you want authentic skincare that fits your lifestyle, check them out in the show notes. Thanks to Eshu Skincare for supporting real stories and mental fitness on leading our own way. And if you're interested in sponsoring like Eshu Skincare, drop us a message. We'd love to connect. Are you aware of some of the things she did to other people? Like, have you got any examples like you've shared with you personally? Yeah. Is there any examples that other people have shared with you?
My dad. So
she the mother of your dad, by the way?
She's the mother of my dad, yeah. Yeah, she's the mother of my dad. So she met an individual, had my father, and then for just reasons known to her, she wasn't happy in that relationship. She took my dad, and then my granddad fought against her taking him. So back in the 70s, so he then got custody of my dad. So back in the 70s, that was a big deal. A father to get custody of a child, that didn't happen. So that's sort of like the level of this woman and who she was. But because my granddad was a very kind individual, he thought it would be right that my dad should stay with his mum. So, I mean, if he didn't do that, I wouldn't be here. So he gave my dad back to his mum, and it was the downfall. So then she changed his name. She changed his name, both his names, cutting his tie to family. So family were looking for my dad for years, but they couldn't find him because they were aware that this child existed, but they couldn't find him. So it really ate into my granddad. He massively went downhill in a very, very big way. And then he passed away. So my dad. And then me. Would you like to potentially hear about case number 3?
If you're comfortable.
My eldest was born. Absolute shining light. Came into the world. I'd gotten over what happened in my 20s. I was like, right, I've gotten over it. The loyal dog, let's say. The loyal dog. Okay, you've done what you've done, but I'm still here. I'm still, to an extent, in and around. She would arrange days out, come over, take my son out. She was always late. Massively late. I'm not talking half an hour, I'm talking like an hour and a half late.
And do you feel comfortable with that? at the time?
No. To an extent, no, but I was. I don't know if I was able to think. Everything was so clouded, Andrew. Honestly, it was like emotional trauma on another level,
Yeah.
level that I'm still working with now, with a very highly trained individual, a big part of my life. No, I wasn't. I wasn't comfortable. Do you know what? That sounds horrible. You know
No,
that
I
really.
think you have every right to not feel
I,
comfortable that she's going to take him out.
yeah, that sounds horrible.
So
Yeah,
she was an hour and a half late frequently.
all the time. So we had numerous conversations about this, and then I said to her, "I'm sorry, but this needs to stop. So you're not coming over now to take my son out because he's sat there waiting for you. We're waiting. This little boy wants to go out, for a day out with you that you've promised, and you're failing him." So it got to the point where I said no. So then her reaction then was,
I can imagine.
so my child was only maybe 4. Yeah, 5. So she wrote a letter to him saying, "I won't be over to take you out anymore because your dad's keeping me from you. But it's okay. We'll be together soon." Please just think about that for a minute. Please just think about that.
She looks like it's
There was
just
an
history.
eruption. There was a massive eruption. An eruption. So we had to then get a police injunction order out. So the police came round. We had a conversation. I told her about this lady. I sort of went off on a tangent, and I said, to look at her, you'd be like, she was like, why? Why? He's his nan. I'm like, right, okay. So I told her what she did to me. And she was like, wow. And I said, this woman was on another level. So someone on another level. When we were in South Africa, someone was killed over there. So she threw a party and got hammered.
What?
That's the type of individual we're talking about here. And I told that to the police. And she was like, "Can you prove that?" And I'm like, "No, I can't prove that." And she was like, "Right, okay." So we got the injunction out. So she was unable to contact my son, me, my wife. A little bit of time passed. And then I received a USB stick through the post. And I can't tell you how I felt, I can try that, feeling in your stomach when, something's coming or you've got to do something, but you don't know what, you don't know how you're going to deal with it. And it was like, I felt physically sick. So I plugged this USB stick in. And this is straight, take this from a horror story. She sat in a chair in the living room while someone's filming her, fag in her hand. And she is basically saying, "How dare you keep my grandson from me? You will not win." And then she goes off on a bit of a tangent and she says crazy stuff to me like, "I've protected you all these years, but I'm removing your protection. And then see what happens when I remove your protection." This went on for 40 minutes. It was a 40-minute video. It was, Andrew.
Your nightmares.
Andrew, it was what nightmares are honestly made of. Honestly, like in this disgustingly, there was on the coat, the chair. There's a throw on the chair. All the tatty throw on the chair. It's got dog hairs on it. She's got a fag in her mouth. She's being filmed. There's whispering going on in the background. Um, Basically, just telling me that she's coming for me, and and she's coming for my family. Um, this it was that bad. I didn't share. I had to hide it from my wife for years. For my wife for years, and it only so happened that we were doing a clear out. I hid this in the loft. I hid it in the loft, and she found it and she said, "What's that?" And I went, "Can I just bin that?" And I went, "It's got nothing. It's just got some old files and this old CV on it." And she was like, "No, it's not.
She knew.
Why are you not just telling me what's on it?"
Mm-hmm.
And when she watched it, I saw the life drain from her face.
And you hadn't seen your nan in all of
I
this
hadn't.
time. It was hidden in the loft.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
hadn't, or you had.
No, sorry, I hadn't seen her. No,
Okay,
no.
yeah.
We once that police injunction order went out, no contact. We had to just completely just purge her. But she was still
Yeah.
like the USB stick, like with that.
It's haunting, isn't it?
Think of the most disgustingly horrible message or thing you have ever seen in your life. Times it by 10, and that was remotely close. My wife watched it, and she was distraught. Like only me and my wife have watched it, and we binned it. We binned it.
Didn't you use that as evidence to the police?
If I had of, but do you know what? I've seen her wriggle out of so many things over the years and just get away with it. One for example. I just feel like she would have used her Irish twang and got away with it. And just do you know what I mean? Just I don't know.
That was good.
Robin Williams them out of Mrs. Doubtfire. I've just seen her just manipulate everybody, everybody she's come in contact with. So I just got rid of it. We just had to purge it. I felt like it was infecting our family. It was we're in a room, we're being infected through a vent. You don't know you're being infected until you walk outside into the fresh air.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I felt like it, without being in the house, was just infecting our house. And if we had have, maybe we should have, but in the minute we decided not to highlight it, we just destroyed it, and we were like, right, we'll deal with this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, wow, that's crazy. That I mean, I can visualize it when you're saying it. I feel like I can. It feels like a horror movie. It does. In that moment, you discussed about the party when you were talking about her characteristics and the party and was that person who was killed in South Africa? I remember you telling me, was that the reason why you came back from South Africa?
It was, yeah, it was.
Tell us a little bit about from 7 years old then, because we're going in and out, and I love it, and I just want to come back to the South Africa journey. Coming back, why did you come back, and maybe connect the dots with that person being killed there?
So, this individual worked in the mines over in South Africa, so main source of income. So when this individual was killed over there, obviously we weren't able to stay.
Why? Because it was dangerous.
That, and there was, from what I've been told, there was no other source of income. So we literally had to leave. I mean, South Africa in the 80s, yeah, it was very dangerous. There was a lot going on over there.
Yeah.
We just left everything, and we had to come back. We had to come back to the UK, and I mean everything. Like, we to the point where we had nothing, and we had to live with the Salvation Army for a number of years. But this is just dipped into the conversation previously about the type of individual that she was. So this individual was killed. He worked in the mines, and how she was able to do things in her life and manipulate people. She claimed this individual's pension for a couple of decades after he passed. How do you do that? Oh, I know
I
how
don't
she
even
did
know how
it.
you get away with it for that long.
I know how she did it. It was a pain-in book. If anyone remembers the Bradford and Bingley pain-in book, and
Yeah.
she kept documentation with the word with her previous name on. So she'd remarried, she'd kept the previous documentation, and she'd go in and she'd just wangle her way, claiming this dead person's pension for decades. That was the type of individual she was. This individual died. He was killed over there, and she threw a party. That's the type of individual that I'm talking about right now. Once
See,
again, just think about that for a minute.
I can't believe who would imagine want to turn up to that party.
I say a party, it was more her just getting hammered and
Oh,
just doing what she did. Yeah, just causing upset. I say a party.
yeah.
There wasn't really anyone there.
Just her in her own head.
So it was one hell of a party, but
Yeah.
that I just want. I'm trying to paint a picture here.
Yeah.
People might be like, "Oh, you might be exaggerating, or all this, or that." No, 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 no. I'm not at all. No, I'm not.
No.
No, I'm
No,
not.
this is your
And
lived
there's
experience.
people that wouldn't come forward because there's still adults, grown adults now that are still petrified of this woman and of what she did to them.
Mm.
Multiple adults.
And to add to more to her character, when you came back from England, from South Africa to England, you arrived back in the Leeds area, didn't you?
We did, yeah. We were in Leeds, yeah.
Going to school didn't start straight away. Education didn't start straight away.
No, so I was kept still. So my education started very late on in life. Um, and I think it was a matter of fact that it got to the point where maybe officials were asking questions like, why is he not in school? Obviously, you've got to produce documentation to prove who an individual is and who they are to you. That was a massive factor. But I was pulled in and out of multiple schools. So when we lived in South Africa, so you're talking about a young boy here that's grown up in South Africa on a completely different level to anyone else. Just very outdoorsy. Can I say the word ballsy? I don't know. Just sit in a classroom and sit, be quiet, do that. I couldn't comprehend. I don't even know what that is. What you're asking me to do?
Yeah.
Like I couldn't read or write up until I pretty much went to high school. Like there were like in school, like I was very I was just a young lad. I was a young boy. Like I said, there's never been to school, never been around other children. Best way I can describe it to you. We build a house. We put the foundations in place when we build a house. We don't just put a house in a field and expect it to stay there because it won't so it will just crumble and it will just fall down. So building blocks that you get from a childhood, I never had. I was never integrated with other children. I didn't know how to relate to other children or be around other children. So I was used to being around massively older people. So when I was playing with children, I was probably very really rough and just really just do you know what I mean? The schools didn't know how to deal with with this individual because I didn't have the building blocks of life. Do you know what I mean? Like, okay,
I remember you telling me you would see lions eating other lions on safari in South Africa, and then all of a sudden you're in Leeds in this
yeah,
box of a room
yeah.
being told what
So
to do.
yeah, so I've gone from lions being fed animals on from the back of a bakkie, South African term,
Backy.
truck, let's say,
Yeah.
to being ripped apart. That noise, the smell, just the teeth grinding. Like that was the norm for me. Next door neighbours in South Africa, like watching their their gardener, and I still remember his name, Seymour. His name was Seymour. Like, how do you remember his name, Jay? I just do, because it was that trauma from that time that's etched into me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he would dispatch chickens, basically catch them, wring their necks. And do you know what? It always used to amaze me how those chickens used to run round the garden with no heads on.
I've heard that, yeah.
Think about that. So
Don't want to.
that's what I was exposed to.
Mm.
Not love, not hugs,
Mm.
not care and nurture. Watching chickens being decapitated and running around with no heads, and watching live feeding. It was just the norm. So I was on a completely different wavelength to anybody. And then you want me to go and sit in a classroom with these other individuals, and I don't even know what this thing is. What's that? What's this bit of paper? You want me to do what? I don't. And I just couldn't. I didn't get on with it. I couldn't get on with it. And then, like, when we'd go out and we'd play on the playground, it was very just like, oh, I don't know, tag, huh? You're it. I don't know. I'd push someone over, not meaning to do that, and then there'd be an uproar. She'd come into school, and her answer was, rather than to deal with it, would be to pull me out of school. I got pulled out of multiple schools. My education didn't start probably until I was like 9, 10.
Way behind, really. In terms of curriculum stages, I mean.
Massively behind,
Yeah.
massively behind. And it got to the point where conversations were being had. Conversations were very secret, there was whispers, and I'd walk into the room and it'd stop. And I think it got to the point where I needed to go to school because questions were getting answered. Questions were getting asked.
Yeah.
So my real education really only started when I went into high school. And I struggled massively, massively. I used to hang around with children that were 3, 4 years older than me, that I used to get on the bus with, to the point where, like, my form tutor would be like, Jay, do you not want to, like, integrate with your classmates? And in my head, I was like, I can't relate to children my own age, because of the building blocks
That
Do
we're
you know what I mean?
missing.
I was always around older people.
Yeah.
Do you know
Mhm.
what I mean? And it
Yeah.
eventually did. And I had a very good group of friends in high school. And I managed to I don't know how I did it, but I just winged it. And then I went on to further education. I don't know how I did it. Well, I do know how I did it, for pure grit and determination.
Yeah.
See, I spent so many decades with that woman. I did learn a few things from her.
What were some of the biggest lessons from her that you learned then?
Um, you could put me in the most awkward situation imaginable, and I'd feel comfortable in it.
Wow.
I feel comfortable. It's said a lot now. It's said a lot, but this was already happening to me decades before. People, you get these people that say, be comfortable in the uncomfortable. Do they really know what that means? No, I don't think they do.
I say that a
I
lot,
do.
but now I'm questioning a whole new level now, mate.
I feel comfortable in the uncomfortable,
Yeah.
and I can quite easily control the room if I'm backed into a corner. People don't. I've been, I've been to get where I am now. It's taken a lot. Has taken a lot. Great determination, all that.
Yeah.
But I'm on a different level, and that gets thrown about a lot. But I can't tell you. I actually really what I actually mean when I say that. I've been taught by I've been taught by the people that have taken key points on, if I'm not comfortable with something, I will say no. And people don't like that word no. Or I will say, I don't feel comfortable with that. And I'll just sit back and I'll just let the room just simmer. Because the journey that I've been on, I've earned that right now. And I've got eyes watching me. So if I say yes to something and I put myself in an uncomfortable situation, what am I teaching those little eyes that are watching me? I will stand at the forefront of anything. And people say, don't they, all the time, we've got you, we're there. We're with you. No, you're not. No, you're not at all. But it comes to it. When it comes to it, Andrew, people will always take one step back, apart from true family, true friends. And say 50 people say they've got your back, or 20 people, maybe even one might even just stand there. But even though they'll be stood behind you, they'll be stood behind you.
Just taking a very quick break to thank our sponsor, SU Skincare. If you haven't heard of them, SU Skincare started right here in Australia, using Australian ingredients to make skincare straightforward and accessible, especially for men who want results without the fuss. Their journey took them all the way to the US, where they were featured in Macy's and over 300 stores. Now they're back with a fresh approach, focusing on healthy skin and authenticity for everyone. I'm proud to have SU Skincare as a sponsor on Leading Our Own Way. See the show notes for their website and to see how you can keep your skin healthy and confident. And if you're interested in sponsoring like SU Skincare, drop us a message. We'd love to hear from you. Now, right back to the episode. So, going back to the education part, Jay, you're 9 years old, 10 years old, you're into high school. Education's only just started maybe a few years ago. You're now in high school. Can you remember how you kind of, I suppose, put your mark, your own stamp on life, being back in England, being back in the school system? You're not fitting in. How do you try and fit in, or how do you try to be different, to be noticed, to have identity, to have some form of purpose?
It was a big struggle. Like, I'm trying to get a triangle to fit inside I don't know, a square, something like that.
Yeah.
The biggest thing for me, the biggest struggle was when it came to learning how to write. So I used to be, well, I can still pretty much write with both hands, but the schools weren't happy with that. They wanted me to choose a hand. So this went over like a few weeks. You know, when you're learning how to write and you're doing, your ABCs, copying it over.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was brought to light several occasions saying, because I kept on swapping my hands. I'm like, no, you need to choose a hand. And I was just like, why? Well, you've got to choose a hand. So I'm like, right, okay. So I'm like looking around the room. And I'm like, well, okay, well, everyone's writing with the right hand, let's say. So I'm like, right, I'll choose my left hand. And it was like, I'll never forget the teacher's face. She was just like, are you sure? Why? And I'm like, well, I don't want to write with my right hand. Well, everyone else is writing with the right hand. Well, in my head, I didn't say this. I can't remember exactly what I said, but in my head, I was just thinking, well, I'm not everyone. I'm not everyone else. Do you know what I mean? And that was me just separating myself from the societal norm, let's say. That was my first definitive bit. Let's get away from these societal norms. Let's stay in line, head down, children, look in, sit still. And I was just like, no, because I'd had it for such a long time already. Obviously, they were unaware of what I'd gone through with just saying yes to everything, just saying yes. Yeah, okay. No, if I don't feel comfortable, I don't feel comfortable in doing that. No, sorry. And it's people don't know how to deal with that. And that was my first definitive point, probably in my life, where I said no to an external adult. And they struggled with that. They struggled with it. In my head. I don't know how this might come across, but that would be a them problem. not a me problem. And it's okay to be different. It's okay to say no. We say yes far too much, and I say this to my eldest. If you don't feel comfortable in doing something, don't just say no. Don't feel like you need to be part of the norm, because that's fine. That's fine, and you won't know how much it will define you on your journey in life. Setting that standard at a specific age to say, I don't feel comfortable doing that. We don't need to be rude. We don't need to be
Yeah,
any which way about it. Just say no. But it's people's reactions.
I know.
So,
I know, I'm with you. In a different context, I always say to my kids and the kids that I teach as well on a daily basis, I say, you know what, if you've got a crazy idea or a stupid idea and somebody flicks their eyes, I go, good, go in that direction because it means it's never been thought of before, and I love it when they like look at me and go, oh yeah, okay,
what do
you
you want
know.
to be? 10 years old? No idea. I've had multiple career changes throughout my life.
Mm.
My journey has gone on a personal and a professional basis. It's just gone in so many directions, but I love that. I love that. It makes, do you know what? Before, like, if I'd hear someone say, and this isn't me dissing anyone in any which way or form. Someone says, "Oh, I've been here for 40 years." Brilliant. Okay, brilliant. Now, brilliant. Okay, you've stuck at something for 40 years. But then now I'm thinking, wow, there's more to life than that.
Oh mate,
You've done something for 40 years. And I know a lot of people that are like at the retirement age, and they've become so comfortable in working. People don't want to retire, and it's just like, we only get one life, and there is more to life than work. Um,
why do you think I left
me,
teaching?
yeah, yeah. It's my time. We're only here once, so we have multiple problems when we have our health, don't we? But then say we don't have our health, we've only got one problem then. Do you
Yeah,
know what I mean?
so
Let's
true.
go and live,
Yeah,
live your life. Go out and live your life. Honestly, Andrew, on paper, I've probably had 20 years taken from me. I am living my life. I am helping people through my website. I never would. I My education didn't start until I was maybe like 9 or 10. I built a website the other month. It was a struggle. I had help from my wife, but I did it. There's nothing
yeah.
we can't do. There's nothing we can't do. Like, I've nearly finished the book. When the book's out, it's going to explode.
And I want it here. I want it here.
Yes, you can have it. You can have it. That's not the end goal. The end goal is then the feature film. I want this story told everywhere. I want everyone to hear about it. I want to. I was going to say I want to help people. I am helping people. People are coming to me now, confiding in me every day. Every day, people. Someone came up to me yesterday and just had a little quiet conversation with me. Said, "Oh, Jay, I went on your website. Oh, it was brilliant. I love that little blog section that you've got." And then they went on to say, "Oh, something happened in my childhood," and then we got interrupted. I'm helping people.
You
I'm
are.
help. I'm helping people. This is what it's all about. This is what it's all about, helping people. Because I know what it's like to be alone. I know what it's like to be alone, Andrew, and have absolutely nobody there for you. Nobody. Even though you've got not a wealth, even though you've got multiple family members around you. I know what that's like. I know what
Yeah.
it's like to walk into a hostile environment, a hostile room where people are out to get you, out to take something from you. I know what that feels, and I'm here. I'm here.
That what I can see in you there on camera is a lot of and the expressions that you've used throughout this episode. I think I can see a lot of strength and courage in you now. Obviously, you paint a picture of when you were a little boy, and there was none of that there. But do you think standing up, that pivotal moment of standing up to your nan, do you think that's where you got your strength and courage from? That pivotal moment, do you think?
Yeah, it was. It was. kindling, starting that little fire inside me that I was unaware of, that was only has only just grown over the years. And I was just, oh, I just needed a little. We all need a helping hand,
Of
and I
course.
didn't have that up until about 15 years ago, where I was at my lowest point of my life. I had nothing. I had nothing going for me. I was
On a
dying. I was mentally dying, physically dying. I was the best way I can paint this picture is in a hole, dying, in a dark hole, dying, and then a hand comes in and reaches for me and says, "I'm here for you. Let me help you." And his hand pulled me out of that hole.
Who was the hand?
My wife. My wife.
Beautiful. On a mental health scale, 0 being rock bottom and 10 being content. On the timeline of where you from birth to where you are now, how old would you have been when you would have felt you were at the bottom of that hole, that 0 of rock bottom?
How old was I? Sorry.
Like, at what point in the journey that you've described so far today, was it that point there, like 15 years ago, where it was 0, do you think? Or was it another point in life where you would have been at a 0, 1?
It was at that point, Andrew. Like
Yeah.
I tried to put in place stability in my life multiple times, and and she took it from me through poisoning relationships, through poisoning me, which would create a reaction in me, and then I would explode, and my whole life would just implode.
Mm.
Like you're talking personal, professional, and that's what she wanted. And it got to the point, Andrew, where I'd done it multiple. I built myself back up multiple times, but near on to my late 20s, if I hadn't have had that hand, I don't know where I would be right now. I don't know.
Where at the point when you were really low and your wife had pulled you from the hole, what role was your nan playing in your life at that point in time?
So she was still in and around my life. I had on numerous occasions I managed to break free,
Mm.
have my own place, gorgeous flat, car, good job, and then she saw that and she didn't like that.
She hated you being successful.
She did. So she would break down relationships that would cause me plant seeds in my head. Say, for example, at a point in my life, I had a good job, nice car, lovely flat. We had a little flat warming. I was with an individual. We had both families round. Everything went well. It was a lovely night. All ended well. And then a couple of days passed, and then we had a conversation, and she said, the individual's mum that I was with at that time, she said, she asked me about our relationship, Jay. She laughed at the fact that I'm your nan and not your real mum. That didn't happen. She said that so I'd react. She was the only person that could trigger me in such a way. So then I had a conversation with this individual, and I was maybe quite very offstandish because I'd been triggered. Because this was very a delicate thing. Do you know what I mean? And Margaret knew that to say something like that to me, and I confronted her, and she went, "I didn't say that, but I didn't. But I did. I couldn't. I couldn't focus. I couldn't focus. I couldn't see the light. I couldn't see the light. I couldn't. I couldn't. I couldn't. Yeah, I couldn't read it. I couldn't read anyone if they were. You know what I mean? All I had was that what she said, and I couldn't take anything else because I was so emotionally in a reactive state. Let's say. So the conversation got quite heated, And then the individual that I was with, she contacted me and was like, "What's happened between you and my mum?" I was like, "Oh well, she said this, she said this," and she was like, "Hmm." And I'm being very vague here. I've got to be. She was like, "Jay, she would never have said that." And I'm like, "I don't believe you. I don't believe you." And then the downfall of the relationship, and then the downfall of the job, and then the downfall of the flat, and then ultimately I had to go back and live with her, and that's what she wanted. She wanted me back under her control, poison, manipulative. I wasn't happy. And do you know what? I'd do it all again because this was my pathway. And I don't even know if I believe this, but I was meant to be here. At the time it was horrible. It was unbelievably horrible. But I was meant to be here. This was my purpose, to be here and now. Sat right here with who I've got round me. Yeah. We've all got a purpose in life, and
Yeah.
my purpose is being here with who I've got.
There was a journey before I think you met your wife when you got it in you weren't, I believe you weren't living with your nan. You were out in the world doing your thing, spending money, and you got into some financial debt as well. Probably, I'm guessing you were trying to fulfill your life with some pleasure hits, maybe, I don't know. Take us through that stage before we come towards.
So, um, the first time I broke free, not long after finding out what I did, and find out about her not being my mother, just a complete and utter explosion.
Oh, that was from
I
that, was it?
was, yeah, I had a mask on, I had a shell over me, and that being nice clothes, spending lots of money, getting myself in an unbelievable amount of debt, um, masking, masking what was really going on. Oh well, if it looks good, it must be okay. Do you know what I mean? Whereas really, the inner part is rotting, is dying. That's the best way I can paint that picture. And yeah, a vast amount of trouble, debt, real debt. Obviously not now. It's all been sorted years ago.
Was this tens of
Trouble just,
thousands?
yeah. I mean, real debt, as in like, yeah, like you know, like your council tax debt and all
Yeah,
that.
okay.
Just yeah,
Yeah.
I just completely went again. I just thought I could just. I didn't. Once again, the building blocks. I didn't have the building blocks, and okay, we've got to pay bills. I didn't pay bills. I just bought clothes and got a nice car and just yeah, just bounced around and got massively into training, weight training with my friend, and who I'm still friends with now. To be honest, he's a fantastic lad. Um, yeah, to mask, so nice clothes, big, looking good. Ah, must be all good. No, no, rotting, absolutely rotting, and I was slowly imploding. Um,
Were you getting into trouble too?
I got into trouble. Yeah, I'll never forget. I, I was with one of my friends, and we went out, went for a few drinks, stood at a balcony. This guy comes in with his girlfriend in an RS Turbo. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful car. My friend had a couple of drinks, and he shouted out, "Who does he think he is in that car?" Well, he only heard him, of course. We didn't know there was quite a few of his friends in the pub. So we were like on a little balcony on the ground floor. He went in through like a foyer. He'd parked his car up. He'd come through, seen his mates, been like, "These two dickheads here." We're walking in, and I'm not going to say there was 15. There was a few of them. He then confronted my friend and said, "What did you say?" And then my friend Jordan said, "You heard." And I was just like, "Oh no, mate, no." Explosion. A fight on another level. on another level, like bar stools, ashtrays, yeah, cuts, bruises everywhere. How we managed to get out, we got out. It was a lovely pub. We were barred for life. But yeah, it was that rush, that adrenaline. It was masking something. It was masking how I was feeling. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
How I was. It was looking for something more extreme. At the time, it was brilliant. It was brilliant. I loved it. We talk about it. We still speak about it now. It sounds unbelievable now, but it was just people listening to that or hearing that might be like, idiot. I didn't actually say anything. Do you know what I mean? But it was just, you're not me. We're on a we come from with different worlds, different universes. Yeah, I'm a survivor.
You are.
We're conquerors, aren't we? We're explorers.
Certainly are. Certainly are. And to sum up the journey of your nan, she passed away a few years ago.
She did.
And where were you lying in that life when your gran left us?
I, on one hand of me, I was furious that she'd passed away. I wanted to have a final conversation with her because she didn't, officially, I didn't tell her that I'd found family. She will have known just by way of the world. But I wanted to have one final conversation with her for all them years that she took life from me. I wanted to have an adult conversation, but I wanted to see her reaction and I wanted to see life taken from her when I say, I've said to her, you didn't win, you know. I found family. And a final message to her would have been, shame on you, you know. Shame on you. You've
What?
caused shame upon your family. Big Irish thing, that shame.
For sure.
Yeah, I wanted to say that to her, but in my head, that's how the conversation would have gone. It might have not. It probably wouldn't have gone that way.
What do you think she would have said?
She wouldn't have said much. She would have just been like, I would have been like, can I tell you something? And then she would have been like, go on, Jay, you tell me. I would have been, I know something, you know. I found something. She would have been, really? Tell me. In those words, in those ways, that when really she was wanting to explode, cigarette in hand. And I did have a conversation with her years before where I did confront her about her past. And the next day, I got a phone call from her partner saying, what did you say to your nan? Because she wrecked the house, fully trashed the entire house because I pulled her up and called shame upon her. Yeah. But
wow.
She had a lot of family. Nobody went to the funeral.
Really?
Fitting for her, not fitting for her. She died alone in her sleep.
Yeah.
But we answer for, and I don't know if I even mean this again. One day I'll have that conversation with her, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I don't understand it. I don't mean it. I'm saying it because
I know,
I believe in what I am saying so much because everything I say comes to light. One day we'll sit down and she might, I was going to say she might watch the podcast. It sounds ridiculous, but in my world it doesn't because I've seen so many unbelievable things happen.
Yeah.
And I'll say, we'll have this conversation one day, you know.
Yeah. You will. What do you think the first thing is that you'd say to her then?
I'm gonna take life from you like you took life from me. I know everything you did. And everybody knows you've brought shame upon your family.
So I think it's important that you share now for people who are living with this type of frustration, anger, trauma towards family members that have been, whether it is similar to yourself or, abused or physically abused and sexually abused, whatever people have with their families, you are now seeking a lot of professional help in this present day. And it's vulnerable, but I think what you said before is perfect, isn't it? We have to be vulnerable to create safe spaces for other people to be vulnerable and to go and get help, because there's no shame in getting help. Before we do bring this episode to the close and I ask you our final questions, tell us a little bit about the professional help that you get in and the benefits that you get from that to help you with your own journey and moving forward.
Well, I have personal based counselling sessions. I'm very blessed with the individual that I have. She is a spectacular person that's highly trained in her area.
Yeah.
But the thing, it's not for everybody. And I say that, but I do say as well, you've got to find the right person, because we have similar backgrounds, let's say. She's part of my inner protection circle, my wife, my boys. Best way I can describe it. We go out, fight the fight. Whatever that fight may be for you, I go out with my, hypothetically speaking, suit of armour on, let's say. When I go out there and fight my fight, I might take damage. There might be chinks in my suit of armour. I come back, I take a plate off through being with my family, my boys, or my therapy sessions. I repair and I put it back on, and it enables me to go back out there and do what I am able to do and what I have done. Sharing, really, sharing the truth can give, I'll just say my experience, sharing the truth gives you real courage.
Yeah, agreed.
Real courage. And this popped up a while ago. If you want to fix something, you've got to face it. Or you walk away. Is that who you are? Do you walk away? Fine, that's fair enough. That's a decision you make. But I don't walk away. I don't walk away. We face things and we fix them. Because we've got to think of, I'm thinking not just of me. I'm forward thinking down the line. My family, my boys. People will read about this. People will read about this for decades. This will be my legacy. This will be my legacy. It really will. The website, the book, the feature film. I don't know how I'm going to get it into a feature film, but I didn't know how I was going to get the book sorted. I didn't know how I was going to get the website sorted.
Exactly.
If you're ballsy enough and you're confident enough and you believe in what you're doing and go out there and get it, and it just comes to you. Me and you were doing the interview and I just messaged you. And here we are.
Exactly.
Andrew. Here we are.
I love it. Well, I already know your future plans, so I don't need to ask that question. But before we do go there, is there anything else that you think we've missed that is super important still to share about your journey?
If you're not comfortable with something, don't accept it. Like if it doesn't sit right with you, don't just go with it. Don't just accept it. We're here for such a short space of time, and it all goes on different individuals. But I know my worth, my self-worth, and I know what I want to be remembered for. Yeah, I want to be spoken about in a specific way. It's mad, I always think about this. Film Achilles. Have you seen it?
I think so.
With Brad Pitt.
Yeah. Troy.
Troy's. Oh, sorry, Troy. Sorry,
Yeah,
Troy.
yeah.
The film Troy.
Yeah.
Achilles is there with his mother, going, okay, you can stay home, you can just be the good husband, have a wife, be happy. Yeah, your family will love you, but then over time, you'll fade, or you can go to war. You might not come back, but you'll be remembered through the ages. Stuck with me honestly for years, you know. And I've come from no identity, nobody, nothing. I want to be remembered for what I've done, and just to help people and show people that you are able to do a flip, you know, turn to the flip side of any situation. There is help out there.
Absolutely.
There's real help. There's real people that are willing to help.
Absolutely. Well, you've answered my other question, and that was a powerful piece of advice. So you've done that one as well. Love it. Love it. Well, okay, 2 more questions. I always ask the guests to put their purpose into one powerful line. I think it's pretty crystal clear what your purpose is, but if you could put your purpose into one powerful line, Jay, what would it be?
Survival is turning pain into purpose.
Love it. Love it. Right, Jay. So I've not told you this question, but if there was one question that you wish people would ask you, but they never do, what would it be? It gets everybody, don't worry. What
One
would be
question.
what do you wish people would ask you, but they never do?
Why did you not just accept your life? Why did you not just accept it? And I knew there was something else out there. I always knew something wasn't right. The people that I was with weren't right. There was just something off. And I just knew it from such a young age. Why do you just accept it, Jay? Just accept it. Go with the flow.
It's easy for them others to say that when they're not in that situation, though.
Yeah, just accept it. I question. Maybe too much, Andrew. I question everything. I question everything. Absolutely everything.
I do sometimes.
Maybe not vocally, maybe internally, but because I've got to. It's a survival mechanism for me now, I think.
Yeah.
I don't mean to do it. I've got to do it.
Yeah.
I've got to do it.
Yeah. Jay, what a beautiful episode, man. I appreciate you, and I appreciate you coming on to trusting me with your journey more than anything. It's always a vulnerable place for people to share their journeys, and it wouldn't exist if it wasn't for you guys. And you say it in such a powerful way. I can see the emotions throughout this episode from you and your body and your mind and your eyes, and it's just absolutely amazing. And thanks for joining me on, leading our own way, because this is part of my journey too. So it's been powerful, and I hope you've got something from it more than anything, I
really have, and I need to thank you as well, likewise, you're helping save a little boy, Andrew, getting the word out there, awareness.
You're doing it all, man.
No, our paths, I don't believe in coincidences. Our paths crossed for a reason.
Agreed.
Our paths crossed for a reason. I don't believe in coincidences. Sorry. Yeah. This has happened for a reason. Yeah, it really has.
It really has. Well, Jay, we'll put everything in the show notes. We'll put your book in the show notes when it's out, and send me all your links, and we'll put them all in there, and your website, everything, the lot. And, if anyone wants to follow Jay's journey, I will be no doubt invited to the premiere when it's out.
Yeah, and if there's anyone out there in and around the film industry,
yes,
come and get on board, because it's going to be a big deal, trust me. So
yeah,
reach out.
Let's do it.
It will, in whichever way form it happens. So yeah, reach out.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's try and make it happen for sure. Well, thanks, mate. Again, I appreciate you, and we'll follow him on all the social media. Just quickly, what's your handle on? Please tell us your handle on Instagram, so people.
A Childhood Taken.
And that's the same on Facebook. Yep. Good.
Yeah, and at childhoodtaken.com, the website.
Beautiful. I'll put it all in the show notes anyway. So simple click. There you go, guys. And hopefully we can spread your journey, and because there's other people out there that it is happening to, we just don't even know. Right.
There's a whole wealth of people out there that potentially need help.
Yeah.
That are, struggling. Yeah.
Beautiful. Jay, thank you once again. I hope you have a great day. I'm going to go and do some intros and do some edits, but to everybody else, man, guys, I appreciate you guys coming back every single week. You guys are absolutely amazing. I hope you're taking pieces of our conversation, and if it can help, change your mental health and your journey or pivotal point in your life, whatever it may be, please put something in the comments. Let us know how you're doing. And but yeah, until next week, until we have another amazing guest and sharing their incredible journey, keep leading your own way. From Jay and I, have a great week.
Yes, do it. Thank you.
Bye for now.
Thank you.
All right, I will press stop.
Brilliant.
Beautiful. Jay Whitney has walked into this conversation this week on Leading Our Own Way carrying decades of pain, and he left nothing on the table. His book, A Childhood Taken, is available, and you've got to go and get it. Everything will be in the show notes. Please read his story in his own words. It will change you. If today reminded you of anything, let this be. Asking for help is not a sign of weakness. It is the bravest thing you will ever do. Your story matters. Your scars matter. And the world needs you to keep going. Thank you to Jay for his courage and his honesty, and thank you for you showing up every single week. It really means a lot. Links to Jay's details are all in the show notes. Everything mentioned today are all there for you as well. It's been an absolute incredible journey. Until next time, keep leading your own way and have a great week. We'll see you next week for another amazing journey. See you then. Thanks for listening and watching Leading Our Own Way. So we can stay together forever and share more incredible journeys, please subscribe to the channel. That way you won't miss next week's episode and what that amazing guest has to offer to the world. Please support Leading Our Own Way, and we'll get you on next week's episode.